Oh, it's on? Are we on? Are we on, Jig?
It's live. It's live.
Yo, welcome to another episode of This Ain't Practice. We are your hosts. I am Shad.
Chris J.
And we are in the building. Welcome, brother. Welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. You doing all right?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Living the dream. It is Sunday. It's still the weekend. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Wish we had some better weather, man, but you know how it is.
It's gloomy, man. Just want to sleep all day.
It is. Facts.
Yeah. Sleep all day and watch football, man. Watch football. So let's get into it, man. I think we got a good show today. Appreciate the notes. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off, brother?
Well, we got our two favorite teams that they play. One plays tonight, Vikings.
Skol, baby.
Yeah, out in the Mile High playing Denver, and then the Eagles Super Bowl rematch. KC out in Arrowhead tomorrow night. Looking at the lines earlier, man, it's kind of funny. They're both 2.5-point underdogs, I think, because they're both road teams.
Yeah.
So how you feeling about the squad going into the night game?
Man, squad's going to the Mile High. I know you said that it could be kind of difficult for players to play up there.
Yeah, the altitude.
The altitude and all that stuff. But I have been to a game in Mile High, and the Vikings, they beat Denver handily. That's I think it's like 2000. I didn't feel the difference while I was sitting in the stands of air quality.
You got the iron lung, that's why.
Exactly. So I see the Vikings pulling this off. The Denver, they're playing good football. They're on the tear, but I don't know. You tell me if I'm wrong. Their offense doesn't really seem that much of a threat. I think our defense will be able to handle
them. They're kind of up and down. You know, yeah. Russell Wilson. I keep calling him Russell Westbrook. Their careers have kind of been tailing off the same way, but Russell Wilson, he doesn't scramble how he used to. Remember, he'd get out the pocket, extend the drives, he'd make more plays with his legs. He's not doing that as much. You know, granted, he is a little bit older, but I think some of that is by design with the offense that Sean Payton is running to keep him from getting injured. So, you know, like I said, he's not scrambling as much. So now their offense isn't as dynamic, but I mean, they get going. They can be a threat. They've got some with Cortland Sutton and Jared Judy. And then with the running backs, Pirine and Javonte Williams, the running back from UNC. So they've got some weapons on the squad, but they're not as potent as they have been in the past.
Right. I think it's going to be a close one. But Vikings pull it off. Who you got?
For some reason, I think that home field advantage. I think Denver will pull it out like a last-second field goal. Okay. I'm thinking like 24-21. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. Neither one of them have potent offenses, so no. I don't think you'll see either of them hit in the 30s. Only way you see that is if there's a lot of turnovers. Short field. Putting the defense in bad spots.
Yeah,
and then the offense executing. But outside of that, man, I think it'll be in the low to mid 20s. And I think Denver will they'll prevail on a last second field goal.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. And we do have Dobbs starting again, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how he does. What we got next on the docket?
Man, we got the Eagles, man, Super Bowl rematch. Be out there in KC tomorrow night. What I don't want to see, I do not need to see any Taylor Swift shots. So if she's at the game, I don't care. We don't care. No one cares. This isn't Access Hollywood, so we don't need to see her, man. We're trying to watch the game.
So, this is the Access Hollywood.
No, we don't need to see Taylor Swift. So do me a favor, don't shoot her. Don't every time Kelsey scores or Kansas City scores, they zoom in on her. Nobody cares.
Well, I think we got a Swiftie here because it says Chris the Hater.
Yeah, I already know who that is. That's the person who has the same last name as me. So that's pretty typical right there.
But okay, now I've seen some numbers, and Kelsey does better when Taylor Swift is at the games. Is that correct?
I mean, dude was a first ballot Hall of Famer before they started dating. So I don't. I mean, if we want to roll with that, I guess if that makes them feel good and better about continuing to show her, more power to them. I'm not believing those lies.
You're not into that?
No, I'm not into that at all. I don't see Taylor Swift anymore. But Man, I think it's going to be I think that's going to be a close game. I think they're going to score more points than the Vikings and the Broncos.
Oh yeah,
offense. I think that's going to be I got the Eagles 34-31, and that's not just a hard pick, man. I think the Eagles can go in there, man. They're running the football. Your favorite play, that brotherly love. That
the tush push.
I don't call it that. I call it the brotherly love over here. That's a little too soft to be calling it push. I'm not calling it
that. Yeah, I mean, and then the Eagles, I can't call them soft.
Right.
I hate them, but I can't call them soft.
Right. That fan base. Ain't nothing soft about that fan base.
Nothing soft about that fan base. Man, they will. That story you told me about the granddad. I'm like,
yeah, man, that was wild. Yeah, that story was wild, man. I was like, wow. It was so wild. I'm like, are you sure? Like, this sounds make believe. So
you try to say it's cap. I don't know.
Right. Initially, I'm like, nah, man, who does that? That's
Eagles fans. Eagles fans do that.
I guess I'm still throwing a challenge flag on that, man. I need some more evidence on that before I believe that.
You gotta see the footage.
Yeah, I need the footage. I need that TMZ footage before I'm believing that. But I got them, man. I got the Eagles 34-31. I think it'll be kind of a back and forth. They'll both be throwing arrows at each other, and you might, because Mahomes, he can kind of get reckless sometimes with that ball, man, because he's the definition of a gunslinger, best player in the league. But he can throw that pick sometimes, and I think the Eagles will get a pick when they need to, and go down there and kick a field goal to end the game. What are your thoughts?
I always bet against the Eagles, man.
Shocker.
They're in Kansas City. That is a hell of a crowd out there.
Yeah.
That those fans, they're loud in the open stadium. They're so loud. But I don't know. I like the home field advantage for KC. But like you said, it's gonna be a good game. I'll probably switch the scores around in favor of KC. And you're right. My homeboy is gonna make a mistake or two out there with gunslinging. But hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully not something that affects them. But yeah, so I'm picking KC, and really I really do think KC is the better team at home. I could
agree with that. I can see that. Look, looks like we got a score prediction in the chat.
Okay, what we got? We got 2028 Chiefs. Okay, I like that.
Okay, yeah. Anybody that's on, man, feel free to give us your score predictions for the Vikings at Denver tonight, and the Eagles out there in KC tomorrow night.
Yeah, because those are the only teams that matter anyway. So
right.
As you can clearly see, our backgrounds.
Exactly.
Oh God! All right, brother. What else we got, man?
Man, so let's jump into these couple franchise quarterbacks, man, with season-ending injuries. Joe Burrow, man, he got hurt on Thursday night. Looks like he tore a ligament in his wrist.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if he has to have surgery. I think
it's a ligament.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be one of those where it's just rest. You know what I mean? Where he just doesn't play, rest, and then maybe he'll be ready for OTAs in the springtime, or for sure training camp next July. That's a long time away. But if he does have to have surgery, they want to get on that now. Don't wait until the last minute to have that surgery.
Yeah, knock it out so he's ready.
Yep.
We got a Viking fan in here. Skol, baby.
Oh yeah, BJ, what up?
What up?
And then Deshaun Watson, man, he has a surgery on his shoulder, which that is not good for a quarterback at all.
At all.
And if you watch him this year, it looked like he was playing injured. And I remember watching a couple games, man. It's about 2-3 weeks ago, because he actually had missed a couple weeks, and then when he came back, I remember commentator was saying like he looks hurt.
Right.
And they were actually questioning him, with everything that he's been through in the past. He doesn't have that leash that he has, as far as credibility with the fan base, it's not very long. So they were questioning if he's hurt, and he kind of clapped back at him and said, I'm injured. Of course I want to be out there, playing with my guys. So come to find out, he has to have season-ending surgery. Yeah. And like I said, everything, they gave up a lot of draft picks. He's got, I think, $200-something million guaranteed contract.
Yeah, something stupid money for especially with his situation. I was really surprised.
And it's like it's Cleveland, right? And it's like they haven't won in a while, so it seemed like it was an act of desperation.
Right.
If I was running the Browns, I wouldn't have done that because I just think the risk versus reward, it's not there. Because when you're paying someone that type of money, and I get it, like I said before, the quarterback position is the most important position in sports, but you got to be able to have players around him, to succeed. And if he's not getting deep in the playoffs or getting the Browns to the Super Bowl, like, is it really worth paying him all that money? And then, you had the PR backlash with everything that happened from down, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, and the way they did Mayfield, I don't think he was horrible.
He wasn't, but
I mean, he got him to the playoffs.
He did.
They won a couple.
The problem is he was the first overall pick in the draft. So when you're like that high of a pick, you're supposed to be a franchise quarterback like that. The projection on you is like the top of the top, potential future Hall of Famer when they're drafting you that high. He wasn't producing at that level. And then it was kind of the same thing. He was getting hurt, and then he was trying to play through injury, and then, they were at his neck too. So
yeah, they were. And I don't know, it's kind of like they traded one thing for another. I mean, when he's in, he plays really good, but he can't stay healthy. And again, I don't know how it's going to turn out with his shoulder. He's got to have shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks have come back from that and been successful?
I mean, it's there, and especially with the way that technology is right now. You know what I mean? I think it's the success rate is a lot better now than it was, when we were growing up, watching, in the 80s and 90s and stuff, the way technology. Because think about the ACLs and Achilles and stuff. Like, these guys can recoup and come back a lot quicker than they could, back in the day. Like, some of those were career-ending injuries.
Oh, it was over. It was a wrap.
Yeah. But now, like I said, the way that technology is, I think he's got a chance to, like I said, if he has it now, he should be ready by OTAs.
I hope so.
Of next year in July. But, with these injuries, what do you think? Because RG3, Robert Griffin III, he made I think it was a post on Twitter, now X, but he basically said that the Thursday night games, he thinks the NFL, they're putting the players at risk. You're seeing abundance. And now all these guys didn't get hurt on Thursday night. Like Joe Burrow, he did get hurt on Thursday night, but he was wearing a brace coming into the game. So he was already hurt.
He's already hurt, yeah.
But he just re-injured it more on Thursday night. But RG3's point is you're not giving the players enough time to recuperate, between Sunday. And we know NFL, that's the ultimate contact sport, gladiator sport. So you're not giving them enough time between Sunday and then you give them a Thursday night game. So what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with them, honestly. I mean, because they don't have enough time to recoup from Sunday to Thursday, rather than Sunday to Sunday or Sunday to Monday. I played high school football a little bit in college, and dude, even practice hurts sometimes the way we practice. So a game, man, I know that, I was a kid. Sometimes I wouldn't be ready for that next. But we play Friday nights. Yeah. I'm like, man, it's Thursday, man. I'm still, you know what I mean? I'm still sore from the last game. You know what I mean? But you go out there, you grin and bear it and do your thing. But this is the NFL, man. These are grown men, the best of the best. Just running each other. It's like a car accident every time they, hit each other.
Yeah.
So I agree, man. I agree. I always thought the Thursday night games were pointless. They're fun. You have something to look forward to Thursday night. But I've always thought they were pointless. There's no reason for them to be playing Thursday nights.
Yeah, and it's all a money grab for the NFL. You know what I mean? They put it out there. It's all about getting the money, and with the Amazon Prime being the one that has those Thursday night games. I'm interested to see what the viewership is because I watched I watched most of them, but there's some I skipped because I'm like, this is just a bad match. I think it was like the Bears in Washington. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
No. Not on a work night. I mean,
that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
that'll put you to sleep. You want to go to sleep? Turn that game on.
Right? So, exactly. So, yeah. What do you think? Overall.
I don't think that. I get what he's saying, but the NFL is not going away from that. Because I don't know if you noticed this. I didn't realize this till the other day, but there's the NFL now has an Amazon game on Black Friday. The first ever they got a game this Friday coming up.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it either till I saw the commercial. So it's like, they're figuring out because that's typically a day for like that Black Friday. You got college basketball, you got some college football. Those are days that they typically give away to the collegiate sports. But
right.
they're dipping their hands in the stash there too. So
Hey man, that's crazy. And think about it, like Amazon, the fact that the games are on Amazon, I think they used to be on the NFL Network.
mhm.
But not everybody has Amazon. Like I was at this restaurant, sports bar type deal in Sarasota uh, Thursday night,
Mhm.
and they didn't have. They were playing some college game, and so I was watching the football game on my phone. And this guy sits next to me. He's like, "How come they're not playing it here?" I'm like, I don't know. You'll have to ask. And so you have the bartender. It's like, "Oh, we don't have Amazon." So you got to think about like places like that. I mean, that's for our few between, I'm sure, but not everybody has Amazon.
That's true.
So to have it on that is just kind of odd to me. But yeah, whatever. I think they should do away with it. But like you said, it's the NFL.
Yeah, it's here to stay. I get the injury. I also think he's politicking. He's trying to get himself a job. He's been on Twitter, RG3, saying, "Hey, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. Throw me in." So he's been saying he's rehabbing and and practicing and he's ready to go. But
He wants to come back to the league.
yeah, oh yeah, he's been wanting to come back. He's been for a couple years. He's been because he's a color commentator for a lot of college football games.
Yeah, yeah.
On Saturdays. So no, he said he's ready. He wants to get back into the league, but
A little too late, RG3.
yeah, I don't foresee that happening.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
But yeah, man. Hey, let's jump into some of these games today. The game I was watching before we got on was the Lions and the Bears. I don't know how the Bears blew that. I think they were up.
Man,
yeah, they were up 12, 13 points with 3 minutes left, and
yeah.
blew the game because I was watching. And I'm like, this is a bad loss for the Lions. You can't be losing to the Bears. You're at the crib. Like this is a bad loss, and because Jared Goff, the quarterback, he had 3 INTs. He didn't have his best game, but man, they pulled it out at the end. The Bears were doing Bears things. So
I was so mad. I was so mad. I was I was getting things set up out here in the Bears. They're still in the lead. It's pretty comfortable. And I walked back in the bedroom. We had Duffer watching the games, and
yeah,
I was like, "What? They're celebrating and stuff." I'm like, "No, we needed to lose. We needed to lose." But I mean, hey, the Bears, they put up a valiant effort. Those divisional games. Those teams know each other. We talk about that all the time. So they always put a fight, no matter how good or bad they are.
Well, that would have helped the Vikings too. As far as closing that gap. Because how many times have they played Detroit yet this year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think the schedule is loaded to where they play them twice on the back half. And that would have been really, the Vikings could win tonight. From the Vikings perspective, they could win tonight, and the Bears had to beat the Lions, on the road. That'd put them a lot closer to Vikings, trying to get that division lead.
Man, that would have been nice. That's what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping. Like, okay, the Bears go ahead and knock these guys off. You know what I mean? A game that they should have won. Go ahead and knock them off. That brings them within one game. I think now they're 8-2. That's not right. They're 8-2 now. And the Vikings, they've won 6 games. So yeah, we could have closed that gap a little bit, but yeah, it is what it is, man. We're gonna have to beat them twice. I don't know if we can do that. They're clearly the better team, but yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like you said, divisional games, you never know.
You never know. Who would have thought the Bears? Because I mean, I bet you because you know how Vegas has those odds like before the game, and then they have them during the game. Like with 3 minutes left, they probably had the Bears percentage of winning at probably 80, 85%. And then if you could play that same scenario out 10 times, and the Bears would probably win 8 out of 10 times. But it wasn't their day today.
Not today, man. Not today. Yeah. That was very interesting. Cowboys. We gotta talk about them since we're here.
Of course. That was like practice. This ain't practice. That's exactly what that was, man. That was a walkthrough, man. That was bad. Out the gate, man. It looked like they were playing a JV team, man. Apple Valley High School's JV team. That was bad.
I'm like, well, at least they're winning the game they should win, right?
That's. I mean, you can only play who's on your schedule, right? You got to win those games. It was a road game, but man, Carolina Panthers are so bad.
They're so bad. They dog walked it, man.
They did. They
don't
did.
want to. Are they still playing that quarterback?
The
Right?
Panthers.
Yeah,
They got that rookie Bryce Young, first
Bryce
pick in the
Young.
draft. Yeah, they're playing him. He's got and now the crazy part is his best throwing target is Adam Thielen. Used to be with the Vikings.
Yeah,
He's his best option when he's throwing the ball, but his offensive line is horrible.
damn.
And that's a bad recipe for a rookie quarterback on a bad team.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to beef up that offensive line, man. Get some certified guys to protect him. So you need to keep him upright. He's the face of the franchise. So
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm like, man, are they gonna sit this guy after a while? Because I mean, he's just getting beat up, and his numbers aren't that great. But
right.
yeah, and then like you said, Adam Thielen, that's your best receiver. I mean, he was like becoming the third receiver on our team.
Yeah.
Which,
I tell you what, they could use him now with Jefferson. Out all these games this year.
Yeah,
he'd have made a difference this year had the Vikings kept him around.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I don't see how they could have. They
didn't want to pay him.
No, they didn't want to pay him. I mean, he was still good. I mean, that's the guy you look for in the red zone. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
yep,
that's exactly right. Yeah, red zone and those those 3rd and 6s, 3rd and 7s when you need to get a critical first down. To keep the chains moving. Thielen's definitely he's that guy. For sure.
Guy. Yeah, definitely. Any other games stand out?
Well, the Texans, man, we're talking about the draft. Their quarterback, CJ Stroud, he's been balling, man. He's looking like he's leading for rookie of the year. I know there's been some MVP talk about him.
Now, he would be the first rookie to ever win it, right? Was it Marino?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I think Marino might have been the last one.
It's been a long time.
And typically it's a quarterback award.
Right.
And you got to, to come in as a rookie, man, you got to really be balling out to come in and win that award. So
yeah, and he is.
Oh, he definitely is.
Because who else would you give it to at this point?
I mean, you got
Lamar Jackson.
He's been in the conversation. They've talked about Tyreek Hill being in the conversation. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'd be surprised if it doesn't go to a quarterback.
It usually does, yeah.
Yeah, it typically. They even been talking about Dak Prescott after his game last week. 400 something yards, and I think he had 5 total touchdowns. I believe threw for 4 and ran in 1. So
yeah.
He's in that conversation.
Yeah. I would like to see Dak get it, but Dak does Dak things. I know you're not. You hate the Cowboys.
So. I don't want to see that.
He's a good kid. He tries. But CJ Stroud, if he gets it, man, if he can keep this up, dude. I mean,
well, and that's the thing too, man, because we're looking at Houston. Houston's playing really, really well, and then Jacksonville's leading in the division.
Right.
They got a big win today at home against Tennessee. I think they ended up blowing them out toward the end of that game. So
34-14. God,
yep. And Trevor Lawrence, he had been playing some sloppy football, but he played under control today. Doug Peterson and an offensive coordinator, Press Taylor, they called some quality plays. Ran the ball a lot. Did a lot of play action. Hey, what's going on, sis? So they ran some play action. And they executed well. So it's going to be interesting now because next week, Jacksonville is going down to H-Town to play the Texans, and that'll be for first place. They got, I believe, fun. Yeah, I think it's a 1-game lead they have right now on the Texans, if I remember correctly. So
okay.
That's going to be a good game.
I'm watching that one. For sure. Anything else? Browns won. They beat the Steelers.
Yep, that was the last second field goal, and that's crazy. They won. They beat Pittsburgh with a backup quarterback going.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy. Pittsburgh been mauling.
Then right now, I think the game, the primetime game that's on right now is Buffalo and the Jets.
The Jets should take this one. I mean,
I don't know, man.
I mean, not Jets.
Bill Wilson playing quarterback. So
yeah, Bill should take. I meant Bills. I'm sorry, Bills should take it. Yeah, we got.
Yeah,
they're at home.
They should, man. But Buffalo has been so erratic, man. They're losing games they shouldn't be losing. Josh Allen, he's looking horrible, man. He's throwing a lot of interceptions.
He is. Did you see what Diggs' brother said?
Yeah, yep, Trayvon Diggs, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Stephon tried to downplay that, but I remember before the beginning of the season, Stephen A. Smith had said his sources, he's got his sources all over the place.
Yeah.
He said that his sources said Stephon Diggs isn't happy there and he wants to leave. And then that's not the first time that Trayvon Diggs has tweeted out something about that, about his brother needing to get up out of Buffalo. So
yeah.
I could see this in the offseason, man. Either, they might try to appease him, maybe, and throw more money at him, give him a new contract, or I could see where they look to trade him.
Yeah.
He may ask for a trade. So it'll be interesting, man.
His time might be up there. I mean, they were a good 1-2 punch. But like I said, I know he's frustrated with Allen. So
Yeah. So, man, we got the this Thursday. We're not going to be on this Thursday, obviously, because it's Thanksgiving. But there are three games on this Thursday. So let's talk about these really quick, man. We got Green Bay versus Detroit, man. The traditional Thanksgiving game up there in the Motor City. What's your thoughts on that game?
Detroit. Like Green Bay's got no smoke for them. Again, divisional game, but Green Bay, they don't got any smoke for them. Detroit, Detroit is gonna be a dog walk.
I agree. I think it'll be closer than what you think, but I think it'll be something where like Detroit scores a touchdown, deep in the fourth quarter and pulls away. Them being at home, I give them the edge.
Yeah, definitely. And, we could use some Detroit losses, but I don't think Green Bay is going to do it for us.
No. So then the second game is Washington coming down here to Dallas. I don't
again.
Dallas seems like they always have these cupcake matchups, man. It's like the NFL showing them love on Thanksgiving, man, because it's always these bad teams that come down here and play them. Right. Now, you remember back in '98 when Moss and them came down there. Moss kind of had his coming out party, man. He lit them up.
He lit them up. They did, yeah. And they said never again.
Yeah, they were like, so cool. You're not about to do this to us on Thanksgiving, so man, we want cream puffs going forward. So
right, it's like what we're not gonna do.
Yeah,
they got embarrassed, man. I think it was Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, it was Randall, Chris Carter, Jake Reed. They were lighting them up, man. I think the crazy part, I think that was a game Moss had like 3 catches, 160 yards, and 3 touchdowns. All of his catches were all for touchdowns. If I remember correctly. So that was crazy.
Damn,
that was crazy.
Yeah, they're not trying to do that again. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be lightweight work for Dallas. With Washington. Even if it is a divisional game, Washington and they're just a bad team.
They're very bad. And with the new ownership there, I think that coach is going to get fired in the offseason. I think you'll see a whole new regime there. So I don't know. They got a whole lot to play for at this point.
They don't.
They might be in a wild card race. I need to go back and look at the standings, but they're trending towards that arrow's going the wrong way.
The Giants just beat them.
Yeah.
Giants?
Yeah, and they got that quarterback, Danny DeVito's son, Tommy DeVito.
Danny DeVito's son.
Yeah, I'm like, where'd you find that dude? They found him on LinkedIn or Indeed. Yeah, you want to come play quarterback for us? Look his resume up, man. Yeah, he was a stockbroker and played quarterback in high school. So they said, yeah, we'll sign you up.
Oh God! Seriously, that's how I felt. I was like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know all the drafts coming out of college. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only guy that's never heard of this guy. But no, I was like, what?
I follow it tough, and I never heard of that guy. So.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. So going forward, it's Danny DeVito's son. As far
Danny DeVito's kid.
As far as I'm concerned. He got a new son, whether he likes it or not. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's Danny DeVito's son. Yeah, Danny DeVito's son. I don't know what his numbers were, but Giants won 31-19. So
hey, he got the W, man. So man, salute to him.
Yeah, good on him. Good on
him.
I love to see that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that last Thursday night game is 49ers are going up to Seattle.
Yeah, I don't know about the 49ers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
After they had that skid. So I don't know about them. Seattle, they're just what, a game over 500, something like that.
I believe so.
But they've been playing pretty good.
Yeah. And the
Um,
49ers are playing right now. They're at home against Tampa Bay. They're up, I believe they're up 10-0. The last time I looked at that. So I expect them to win that game.
yeah,
Playing in Seattle, that 12th man that they have up there, they call their crowd, that 12th man, it's a whole different ball of wax right there. I think that might be the toughest place to play,
yeah,
in the league. If not, it's definitely in the top handful of places to play. So I don't know, man. That one was kind of, for me, that was like a pick 'em. I think San Francisco has a better roster, but I can see Seattle definitely making that a game. I would give San Francisco a slight edge in that game.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on it?
I'm gonna give it to Seattle.
Okay.
I give them a slight edge, just because they're at home and the 12th man. I think that they'll pull it off. And those teams always play each other really tough too. But yeah, I give the edge to Seattle for this one.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll definitely we'll follow up on that next Sunday. Yeah, when we talk about those games, man. So let's go ahead and shift over to the NBA. We'll talk about man, I've been waiting for this, man. The story of the week, man, kind of in sports, man. Your boy Draymond Green.
Man, Draymond Green. Choked the living mess out of Rudy Gobert.
So, because you hadn't seen it, and I text you, you were like, "Whoa!" I got the text reply from you, and you were like, "Whoa!" So, what was your first thoughts when you saw that?
I was just like, "Holy smokes, Draymond Green! How are you always there, able to put yourselves in that situation?"
Mm-hmm.
That's my first. But I mean, it was like what, the first play of the game or some shit. Or
yeah, it was like right after the tip off. They were like a minute and some change into the game.
Yeah, I don't think anybody even scored yet, and it's just like, it's just like, what, you are really out of control.
Yeah,
like, you got this man in a chokehold. Like, you could kill somebody.
You could have, man. You could have laid him out, man, unconscious. The number of things you could have done with that.
Yeah, especially since Cat wasn't helping.
Cat was doing. Cat wanted no parts of that, man.
None. I was like, Cat, choke him back, and he wasn't doing any of that. But it was kind of odd to see McDaniels and Clay, like, in that type of. I can say McDaniels, he has a temper, but Clay, like, wow, but
that's normal, right? That's like that. We grew up in the, watching the 80s and 90s. You tussle, you know what I mean? You get tangled up,
right.
Maybe tugging on jerseys. But Draymond went way over the top.
Way overboard.
Man. And if you look at his eyes when he's like, he's like he had rage in his eyes. And that's not, there's a backstory with that, right? They got history in the sense of Rudy Gobert has beaten him out for some Defensive Player of the Year awards. Draymond is taking shots at him. I think Rudy's got the reputation, French cat, he's soft, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that Draymond had some animosity, because you don't just go up, because he could have just pushed him, right? If you were worried about him being on Clay, you could have just pushed him. You didn't have to come up, and put him in a chokehold, the way that he did.
Yeah, nobody does it. Or just, you grab them, like, grab their arms or whatever from behind or whatever, just and pull them away, something like that. But like a chokehold, he was really trying to hurt that man.
Yeah, he was.
He's really trying to hurt that man. And now, did you see what Pat Beverly said?
So what did Pat say?
So Pat, we basically talking about Cat. Like, come on, Cat. What are you doing? I've taught you better than that. Cat wasn't doing enough. Like he called us soft. But he also mentioned that nobody on that team likes Rudy Gobert anyway.
There was some truth. Well, they had issues last year. He got into it with Kyle Anderson. But I mean, Sam, you got to defend your teammate. Bottom line, you got to defend your. I will say this, Pat talks a lot. He acts like he's that guy. Like he's the face of the franchise. But I will say, I think he would have got in there and mixed it up. We done seen him before. I 110% believe he would have got in there. He wouldn't have let that slide. The Timberwolves don't have any enforcers on that team. And I think that they need a guy like that, man, especially like, come playoff time, or somebody that they know, like you're not about to just come in here and Debo us like that. Like,
right.
We're gonna fight back a little bit. So it was just a bad deal. I didn't like, I get Steve Kerr coming to the defense of his players, but he was saying that Rudy had clay around his neck. No, he didn't. He didn't have it. I watched it numerous times. After he said it, I went back and watched it, and I'm like, no, he didn't have him by his neck. Like he was trying to, like, you could be like the peacekeeper. He wasn't coming in trying to, jump on clay or anything like that. So I didn't buy an excuse. And then Steve Kerr, he backtracked like a couple days ago and said Draymond went too far. He was choking him for 6, 7, had his arm around his neck for 6, 7 seconds. So he did a total 180. And I think a lot of that, he caught a lot of flack, man, like the national media, because, he's normally somebody, I think he's viewed in a positive light, he speaks up. He's called out players for different situations. When I think Steph Curry got hurt, it was a loose ball. I can't remember who the player was, but he died for a loose ball, and Curry got hurt. So he's called players out before, and everyone's like, well, wait a minute, you call players out on the opposition, when they're doing something wrong, but your guy, and we talked about it before, man, Draymond has a history, growing, I mean, he just, flagrant fouls. Remember, he was thrown out of the Memphis series.
Yep.
I think he cost the Warriors that series when they were up 3-1 against Cleveland. Remember, he kicked LeBron and got suspended. Like, I don't think Cleveland would have won all those games, had he not gotten suspended.
I agree.
And Joe Dumars, who used to be at the Pistons, he oversees the disciplinary for the NBA.
Oh, okay.
So he made a comment of, because remember last year when Draymond stepped on Sabonis's chest when they were playing the Kings, and he said last year, like, this suspension he's getting, it's compounded with his history, and his antics,
as it should.
As it should, and he's not learning,
No.
And that's the thing about it, because I was like, I didn't care if you gave him 7 games, 10 games. I didn't care. Like, I'm just tired of, like, you could have really hurt that dude.
Yeah, I'm sick of him. Yeah, you could really hurt him. Yeah, for no reason.
Exactly, and I think the Warriors have been complacent, and I also think they have allowed him to complicit. Rather, I think is a better word I want to use. They've been complicit, and because I don't think they've disciplined him enough. That punch with Jordan Poole was crazy.
You don't do that.
No, and the crazy part is it was on, like, we saw it. You know what I mean? You got there and it went viral. Like, no wonder your season went down the tube. Like, you can't expect those guys. Like, can you imagine somebody firing on you like that, and then you got to come to work and work next to them every day? That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Man. One of us got to go.
In facts.
Yeah,
we cannot coexist here. So
right.
You don't, your teammate you attack like that. You opposition. That's not basketball. And I get it. He's really cerebral. He plays real good team defense. He can pass the ball well for his position. He does a lot of great things, but it takes away from it when he does some of the things that he's doing right now.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with you, bro. Draymond is not good for the game.
I agree.
Yeah, he's not good for the game at all. Every time I see him, it kind of pisses me off. I'm just, every time I see his face, I just want to punch him. You know what I mean? And it seems like he's getting worse the older he gets.
Right. It's not like he's learning, like he was doing it in his early 20s, mid 20s, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna chill out. Like, you remember how Ron Artest was early? And I think he had to be put on medication, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, psych meds. Yeah.
But after that, a situation happened in the Palace up there, when the Pacers and the Pistons, he served his suspension. He got, it wasn't all the way perfect, but he got better. And then when he got with Kobe and they won that ring, at the end, he was kind of like that model player. You know what I mean?
Yep. He was, except for that elbow that he threw at Harden's face that time.
He did. Harden wanted no parts of that either, and I don't blame him.
No, who does that?
No parts of that.
We're running down the court and you just boom.
Yeah.
For no reason.
He tried to act like he was a natural basketball play. Like, no, that's not.
Natural basketball play.
Where they do that at?
At all. Where they do that at? I saw like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, he caved his whole face in. I said, oh my goodness. Yeah.
So what were your thoughts with the 5-game suspension? Did you think that was enough?
No.
Not enough? What were you thinking?
Not enough. Not enough, man. You gotta like your bro said, he's bad for the game. You need to make an example of him. 10 games, 10 games. I mean, I think 20 be too much, 15 be
Yeah.
too much, but at least 10 games, man. Make him feel it because that's money coming out of his pocket.
Well, you know that 5 is going to cost him about $850,000. So
Yeah, double that, double that. So he remembers and he knows not to do, crazy stuff like that again. Because I mean, come on, man. Like, yeah, well, you're only going after me because of your past what do you call it?
it's just transgressions.
Transgressions. Yeah,
Yeah.
your past transgressions, has led us to this place. I mean, kind of like your boy Morant, who you said is gonna be the next Jordan.
No, I
Um
never said that.
yeah, he,
Lies.
he,
Never.
but he got a bigger suspension, a longer suspension because
He's
he's
25.
a
Yeah, he got
defender.
25 games.
Yeah,
So I still think I think he comes back maybe like the middle of December, and we'll definitely touch on that. As it gets closer to
yeah,
his return. Yeah, he
I
may
agree.
need some mental health.
Yeah, yeah, he might. There might be something wrong with him. We just don't know, and he's just like he's getting worse as he gets older. So it's just like, but when you like listen to his podcast or you hear him talk with the media and stuff like that, seems like a normal guy.
It's just chill. It's like he's chilled, he's
Yeah,
thoughtful. You know what I mean? It's just,
yeah,
but I just think he it's like a different cat. And Steve Kerr said the other day that he apologized to the team and blah. Like, man, that's fine, but he need to do more than apologize to the team. He need to give Rudy a public apology. Like
seriously.
you need to give Rudy a public apology. That needs to happen. That
Oh,
100% needs to
definitely,
happen.
definitely. Because I tell you what, you choke me out like that. I mean, yeah, we cool. We at work, we're at work. So please believe when I see you in traffic.
Right. It's on.
It's on. It's
Right.
on site, especially if I get no apology.
Right.
Oh, no, it's on site. That's on site. And I got the bread. I got the bread, so I can come looking for you. No,
Right. Right.
nah, you ain't just gonna choke me out. This cool. Ain't no apology. Nah,
Right. Right. Right.
yeah, I'm cool on that. So, I mean, these are grown ass men. And they shouldn't be putting their hands on each other like that. I mean, it's just that this makes no sense,
But that's
man.
just the thing about it. That's not basketball. You know what I mean? Like I'm fine if you went up to him and you guys squared up. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Rudy 7'2" and Draymond 6'7", 6'8", and you guys squared up, but you ran from behind and choked him. Like
Yeah.
that was the part that got me. Like, if you're gonna square up with him, square up with him. Man,
Yeah.
if that's what you're gonna do. But that was whack what he did.
Yeah, that's cowardly. That was cowardly. It's a cake move.
Yep.
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 Definitely. Um, uh, yo, let's talk about your peeps, man. How about the Clippers?
Man, and not my peeps.
I remember you said
But
this.
you about to make up another lie. Go ahead. It's Good Sunday. You up here making up lies. Go ahead. Go.
You said they're gonna be colder than the '98 Bulls. I was like, whoa!
Never,
Wow.
never say no mess like that.
98 Bulls.
That Mickey Mouse mess they got going on out there, man. That's horrible.
Tell us your thoughts, man.
Man, they just won their first game since the Harden trade, which is crazy.
How many games did it take?
I think they're 1-4 since the Harden trade, I believe. 1-4, 1-5, and Westbrook. We were talking about how they would fit together. So Westbrook said he went to Tyronn Lue and volunteered to go to the bench.
Typical Russ. I mean,
but what? It should have been Harden. You weren't even in game shape. You should have been coming off the bench.
Yeah.
At least until you got in game shape. Because he's never been like a physical special. You can see Russ looks athletic, like he can just walk in the gym, you know what I mean, and hoop, and he physically fit and get up and down the court. James Harden doesn't look like that, and he's been using the excuse, "Oh, I haven't been practicing, I don't have a full training camp." Well, then you should have said, "Hey, I'm gonna come off the bench until I get into game shape." But I think it's ego. You're 34 years old. You didn't, like I said, you had no training camp. You should have come off the bench. And Terrence Mann, he's one of the future young guns on that team. He should have never been out of the starting lineup.
No. I agree. Yeah. I saw Harden. I'm like, and he said it. I'm not in shape.
Yeah.
Bro, why are you not in shape? LeBron comes into training camp in shape.
Yep. Every year.
Every year. You're 34 years old. You may have been able to do this in your 20s, but you're 34 years old. Your body don't work like that anymore, and that's why everybody talks about like he doesn't have the explosiveness that he used to have. He doesn't have the quickness that he used to have. He doesn't because he doesn't take time in the off season to work on his instrument. That's his body, and it's just like
Right.
I don't. The older you, and you would think like a superstar like that, the older he got, that he would understand that. I mean, that's how he makes his money. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's I think at this point in the game right now, Russell is the better of the two. Um, just right now because
Sure.
he's in shape. And he's really not a bad player. I know he got a bad rep in in LA.
That was
I
a
mean,
horrible fit.
with the
That was
Lakers. Yeah.
that was a terrible fit.
Yeah, it was just a bad fit. It was a bad fit. And then, mentally, it started to, mess with him. And, his game went to shit from there. But he's been balling with the Clippers. So I mean, like you said, like Harden, like just come, dude. You should have volunteered to come off the bench. Like, hey, when I'm ready, when I'm game ready, when I'm this and that, I'm back. Then we'll have another discussion. But right now, chill. Let man ball out.
Yep. Facts.
Yeah,
That whole team, man. I don't, you know, Kawhi isn't what Kawhi used to be. You know what I mean?
no,
PG is getting up there in age. I
yeah,
just, and they're opening up that new arena out there where the Forum used to be out in Inglewood. They're opening up that new arena next year. So
yeah.
I get it. They're not going to want to, want to fill the seats up there. The owner Steve Ballmer, he's going to want to put a quality product on the court, but
That's not it though.
yeah, I wouldn't like Paul George and Kawhi. I wouldn't give those guys contract extensions or anything like that. Like they're never, especially Leonard. He's never healthy.
Yeah,
So
he's never available. Never. And who was it? It was I don't know if it was Stephen A. Smith. Somebody I listened to somebody's podcast last week, and they said that he's the worst superstar you could ever have.
Stephen A. Smith had said that before. He said he's the worst like superstar you could have.
Yeah. But it's probably Stephen A. Smith said that. I mean, because he doesn't add to the team. Like even when he's out, he's not promoting the team. He's not in there with the guys in the mix. Just if he's on the court, he's just kind of all about him. I don't know. Just yeah, and again, he's not the player that he used to be. So yeah, I mean, if I was Clippers, I'd trade him away, and get
I don't think you're gonna get much for him. That's the problem. I think a player on that team that they would get something for is Paul George.
Yeah,
that's the guy. But I mean, if you're gonna trade him, you might as well look at going into kind of in the rebuild mode because you gave up future first round pick for to get James Harden.
James Harden, man.
Yeah.
And you see that guy is a Matt? Who's the guard in 76ers balling out now?
Oh, Maxey. Remember I told you Tyrese Maxey. Remember he dropped 50 last week.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's stepping up, man. He dropped 50 next week. Like they're not even missing Harden. You know what I mean? Harden was more of it's like an anchor, more than someone that's advantageous for the squad. So they're glad, like I said, they got assets. They'll be able to take those assets and add a player to go along with Maxey and Joel Embiid.
Yeah. I mean, they got addition by subtraction. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I'm afraid that that could happen to man. You know what I mean? Like his minutes get cut. His amount of shots get cut. So yeah, I hate to see that, man, because that could really
just stun his growth a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I that was cool what Westbrook did. So we'll see how it turns out. They won the first game. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it all works out. But really, I just need the other team, LA, to get their stuff together. So,
man, well, we can definitely jump into talk about the Lake Show out there, man. It's kind of the same thing, man. We talk about with them, on a weekly basis. With AD, he's there one night, he balls out, and then I was looking at the box score the other night. It's like 9 points.
What is that?
I don't get it. 9 points and like 4 rebounds and like 30 minutes. And like, man, what were you doing out there?
What are you doing? And then LeBron James had a triple double.
Yeah.
And they still lost because AD didn't want to play ball, I guess. Like, I don't understand it.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
And LeBron is balling out. He's doing everything he can, and he's just not getting any help. I mean, D'Angelo, he's hot and cold.
He's D'Angelo. We saw him with the Timberwolves. You know what you get. And they moved Reeves to the bench.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. They letting who they put in there? Reddish?
Cam Reddish, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. All right, which I kind of like. Reeves can lead that second unit. And Reddish, he's a pretty good ball player.
He's solid. He's bounced around and with the Hawks, the Knicks, and then I think the Trailblazers had him for a minute, and he's just, with him, it's just it hasn't been consistent because he can shoot the three. Like I think that game that LeBron had the triple double, I think Cam Reddish had like 5 for 8 from the 3-point line. So you need guys when you're playing with LeBron, you need shooters. You got to have some guys that it can be spot up shooters when he kicks it out to them. They can knock that J down. That was the thing with Austin Reeves. He was doing that last year, but he hasn't been doing it that much this year. So I think that's why coach made that switch and put Reeves on the bench and put him in there.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be a permanent situation. They'll do it until Reeves can kind of get his head back on straight, and then once he picks up his play, I'm sure they'll put him back out there. Because right now, I think it's just the pressure because he wasn't starting last year. He was starting sometime, but he wasn't. Was he in the starting lineup for the playoffs? I think he might have been.
Yeah, Reeves was start at that point. Yeah, Reeves they had moved him into the lineup. Yeah, he was getting and even for the game he wasn't starting, he was getting starter minutes. Like he was getting like 30 minutes a game. So he was definitely out there. And during crucial times, he was out there as well.
Yeah. So I think that since he started the season as a starter, as him, then there might have been a little pressure on him. So, hopefully, because I like him, I like his game, and I hate to see his confidence dwindle. I mean, shooters shoot, so
yeah,
he's got to shoot. But now he was playing like he wasn't turning the ball over a lot and all that.
No, he wasn't. The thing with him is he's got to hit shots. Like that's what he's there for. That's why they got him there. He's got to score. They need guys that can lighten that load for LeBron. It should be AD is that he's that one, and then LeBron is that 1B, 1A, 1B type of situation, and everybody else kind of fills in and plays their role. So this kind of goes into our last topic is the Bulls are talking about potentially breaking that team up with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And Zach LaVine has the Lakers on his list because he's from the West Coast. I think he's from Seattle area, but he's got the Lakers on his list of teams. But I was looking at the Lakers roster. I don't want none of that stuff that they have. Like, you know what I mean? I saw a pay. It was like D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and like I think a draft pick or something like that. That doesn't do it for me. I don't want that.
No, not for LaVine.
No, or DeMar DeRozan. Neither one of those guys. I'm not trading.
No. I don't think they have much to give.
They don't.
Honestly. Yeah, I don't think they have much to give. I mean, they really have to give somebody up like Austin Reeves, somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then if I'm the Bulls, if I'm rebuilding, I mean, is Reeves going to be the centerpiece or what? You know what I mean? Like because I wonder what he looks like on a team that's not a star-studded team. Just a team that's like role players or young. Is he going to be as nice as he is when you got LeBron and AD on your squad? So
that's a good question because those two take up a lot of attention. So kind of give them more room to move about freely and get open for shots and stuff. I don't know.
Because I saw Miami Heat and the Sixers were on that list. The Raptors were also trying to inquire about getting Zach LaVine, and all those teams have more assets. They have younger assets. They have draft picks. The Lakers gave up a lot of draft picks when they got Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that's
gave up a lot of players too. So I don't. If I was running the Bulls, the Lakers wouldn't be on my list of teams that I'd be trying to work out a deal with. They don't have the assets.
They don't. It would be nice. I would love to see it. 'Cause I think that Zach LaVine can play with anybody, any team to kind of fit in, kind of plug and play.
Oh, he would, and he's so athletic, man. Dude is uber athletic, and he can shoot the three. You know how he can dunk. Can you imagine him in like fast break situations and getting out in transition, man? He'll have the that arena. He'll have that arena crypto. He'll have that arena out there lit. You know, with his ability. So
yeah, for real.
But if I had to guess, I'm thinking either the Sixers or the Heat, maybe who he goes to.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, you put him down there with Jimmy, man, give him another
Butler.
Yeah, another scoring option. And it's the funny part. Remember, the Timberwolves traded Zach LaVine to the Bulls for Jimmy Butler.
They did.
Think of the irony of that. Then they could potentially be playing together again.
Teammates, yeah, that'd be crazy, man. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because I think like Zach LaVine, he still got room to grow. I think he can still get better, and especially if he's put in the right situation. I would love to see that. Simply because Zach was with the Timberwolves. I don't think they ever should have got rid of him. They should have traded Wiggins when they brought over Jimmy Butler, but they didn't, and he flourished over there with the Bulls. But I think that he'd be a great asset to any team that picks him up. Man, if the Sixers get him, it's over.
Oh, they're going to be tough.
Yeah, they're gonna be tough. He's not ball dominant either, as I recall.
No, I mean he I think he can fit in. I think it'll be a seamless fitting in any team that he goes to.
Yeah. What about the other cat?
DeMar DeRozan?
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan. What do you think?
I think if they're gonna move someone first, it would probably be LaVine.
Okay.
And then just kind of play that out. Between now and if they're not moved like in the next 30 days, whatever, I think they may wait until the trade deadline in February to see where they're at. And, you can kind of build up that momentum as far as letting teams know, like, hey, I got both these guys on the block. We're going to look to trade them in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, as you get closer to the deadline in February, give me your best offers. I need to see the best trade packages that you have. And then, at that point, they can make a decision because I think they're both under contract, again, next year. So they don't have to move them right now. They can wait until, the off season around the draft, next summer when free agency starts. So they don't have to do it right now. But, I think when the guy gets further along in his contract, his value dips because that team that's acquiring him, they have less time, in terms of having him under contract. So I think if you're going to trade him, now it's the optimal time to do it right now. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, man.
We'll definitely see, man. But we appreciate everybody that's on the show today. I know we've been doing it on Sundays for the last couple Sundays. We'll do it again next Sunday because of the holiday. But we appreciate you joining and hit the like button. The subscribe button, it means a lot to us. Like I said, we're trying to grow the show. We got some things coming up. Next week we're going to have a new segment with the show. We're going to give you our top 5 power rankings for the NFL teams. So be prepared. Think of your top 5 teams, and definitely add them to the chat on next week's episode next Sunday at 3:30. But we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we appreciate you joining us today.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Appreciate it. Chris, appreciate you jumping on, man. And everybody, have a good rest of the day and enjoy some football. Go Vikings. Skol, baby.
All right. I'll let you know, man.
I'll later.
All right.